And it's the same story where there's an adult and there's a kid, and it's adult and kid, because they know that if you come across the border illegally with a child, you're going to get into the country, you're going to get free meals, you're going to get anything you need to drink, you're going to get shelter. And notice how they even block traffic. They even get an escort service as well. So there you go. We can sit out here and we can document this all day. There's no stopping. There's nothing that needs to be staged. All that needs to be done is it's being documented. And they think filming us is going to do anything. Ma'am, if you want to ask me a question, feel free. I'll answer any question you have. We've got some questions for you, though. Like, how does it feel to be a part of the biggest illegal immigration pipeline in this nation's history? Ladies and gentlemen, we are into the third and final hour of yet another epic war room. And as I'm sitting here at the corner of Austin Avenue and 15th Street in downtown McAllen, Texas, we have another train of illegal immigrants about to come across the street right now and enter this facility. So this is at least the third one that we've documented since being here and going live at 2 o'clock. This is a nonstop, around-the-clock phenomenon. There's nothing that needs to be staged. There's nothing that needs to be fake. It is around-the-clock working. Now, again, there's no media covering this. In all the days that I've spent out here, I've seen 2 other cameras. There's another guy that just showed up that appears to be an independent journalist. There's no signs of any news station or anything with him. Here, we'll pan the camera, and you can see right now, it looks like about 10 or 15, and it's the same story where there's an adult and there's a kid, and it's adult and kid, because they know that if you come across the border illegally with a child, you're going to get into the country, you're going to get free meals, you're going to get anything you need to drink, you're going to get shelter. And notice how they even block traffic. They even get an escort service as well. So there you go. We can sit out here and we can document this all day. There's no stopping. There's nothing that needs to be staged. All that needs to be done is it's being documented. And they think filming us is going to do anything. Ma'am, if you want to ask me a question, feel free. I'll answer any question you have. We've got some questions for you, though. Like, how does it feel to be a part of the biggest illegal immigration pipeline in this nation's history? Does that bother you at all? Do you realize if we have a welfare state and open borders that our country is going to collapse? So they won't answer any questions. They'll come out here and film us as if we have something to hide. They'll come out here and try to intimidate us. They'll send people out here to curse at us as if we're doing anything illegal. No, they're the ones facilitating an illegal immigration pipeline. They know it. Taxpayers are funding the whole thing, and they know if the American people ever found out what is going on here, they would be livid. Americans right now are struggling after the government shut our economy down. Americans just across the street are homeless, and they see free food coming into this facility for non-citizens. They see them getting plane tickets. They see them getting rides. They see them getting bus tickets. And homeless people of Texas, citizens, homeless veterans are struggling every day. The average American is still dealing with the COVID nonsense. But if you come across the border illegally, well, you're completely lawless. Oh, and they do COVID test, but they don't quarantine the whole bus. So if a bus of 30 people comes in, if 2, 3, 5 test positive for COVID, yeah, they get put into quarantine, but they don't even quarantine the whole bus, even though the CDC said when they first started tallying COVID numbers that if you've been in the vicinity of somebody that's tested positive, you're now also considered COVID positive. So it's total lawlessness here. And again, they want to make this out. They're using the illegal immigrants as a shield. They're using the children as a shield to say, how dare you do this? How dare you? Don't you have any dignity? Well, what about the dignity of the American people? I'm not the one that put these children into an illegal immigration pipeline. I'm not the parents that gave their kids to the cartels to be trafficked here. We're now getting more information. Like, for example, the little girls that got literally dropped over the border fence by cartels, it's a viral video, dropped. We now found out that their grandparents were in America and their parents were in America, and they had to pay a human smuggler money to bring their daughters into the country. And they weren't even sure what was going on until they recognized them in the video. And then you know what demanded they made to the media? They said, why hasn't Border Patrol delivered our children? So Border Patrol and ICE are now babysitters for illegal immigrants, and they're now facilitating, not of their own will, the illegal immigration pipeline brought in by Joe Biden, who said we're going to surge the border. the year 2021 is already on pace for the highest number of illegal immigrants in this nation's history by month 6. And these are just the numbers we have. We don't even, these are just the people that are getting processed. Think about all the people that aren't getting processed. Think about all the people that run in here illegally and never even go through any sort of law enforcement. So the numbers are skyrocketing. They're astronomical. It's perhaps the biggest story in America right now, a collapsing southern border. How do you even have a country if you don't have a border? What are the earmarks of a country? Borders, language, culture. Our borders are being disintegrated. People are coming here that don't speak English. Hey, you know what? I want everybody to have a prosperous life, but we can't have a welfare state and an open border. This is a money-making operation. These Catholic charities are raking in millions of dollars. The airlines don't mind, they're making money. The bus lines don't mind, they're making money. The hotel chains don't mind, they're making money. And you, the American taxpayer, is paying for all of it. And these non-citizens now have more rights than you do.
Owen, the monetary part of this seems to be the most jaw-dropping to me. Earlier in the broadcast, we heard a video. InfoWars has done the math, and just on the airline tickets for these illegal immigrants who are leaving this Texas city and going God knows where in the country, $200,000 per day. Now, it would be very difficult to then put a value on the toys, the diapers, the clothes, the food, everything else. But as you were saying, this is a very expensive operation. This is not something that was set up at the drop of a hat. This is not something that is being done last minute or with, I would argue, the goal of helping a crisis type situation. This appears to have all the earmarks of being planned. And of course, the people, they think that recording you, taking photos of you, I guess they're going to intimidate you. It looked as though that may have been the same woman who was causing problems earlier and told you illegal immigrants only.
Yeah, well, it's the same people that are here most of the time. They work at this facility, or they've hired a private security team, it looks like. So it's the same people that are going to be working here. So obviously they're going to recognize us, and we'll get maybe more familiar with them too, but they're all wearing masks. But here's the other angle of this too. Don't forget, the United States of America gives out more humanitarian aid than every other country on earth combined. We, the United States of America, more humanitarian aid than every country on earth combined. And where does a lot of that humanitarian aid go? Central America, over the decades, to the tunes of hundreds of billions of dollars. So, okay, it's collapsing in Central America. Why? Well, because they have communist and socialistic policies and governments. So naturally, those nation states collapse. They can't keep up themselves, so they collapse. And then what happens? We have to pay for those collapse in hopes that they can build infrastructure and hotels and houses and roads and have police forces and everything. So we send billions of humanitarian aid to these countries. Well, now we're doing humanitarian aid, not just to the foreign countries, but when they come into our country. And I forget the number, Tom, but in the last 20 to 30 years, I believe it's almost 15% of the Central American population has now been absorbed by the United States of America, and the majority of that absorption is not through the immigration pipeline, but through an illegal immigration pipeline. So it's just incredible to see this. And of course, this is part of the agenda to collapse the United States of America and bring in the one world government. But even if you don't think that that's an agenda, even if you think that that's just some conspiracy theorist thing, well, that's what's happening. That is exactly what is going to happen. And if you can't see that now, by the time you realize it, it'll be too late. And the president of the United States, Joe Biden, is asleep at the switch, and he's encouraging this illegal immigration pipeline and facilitating it.
Very well said, Owen. I would just add, I mean, as you mentioned, this is an effort to destabilize the United States of America. This is obviously orchestrated, though. Just the other day, Biden was floating the idea, or the regime was floating the idea, to send more money directly to Central American individuals. I guess a stimulus for the Triangle countries, for Central America, in a desperate bid to keep them from coming to the United States. But as you pointed out, Owen, that will do nothing to fix the socialist policies, the communist policies, or the drug cartels or the organized crime that is forcing these people into institutionalized poverty. The government is totally corrupt there. They love the fact that their poorest citizens are fleeing to the United States because they no longer have to worry about them. The cartels love it because they're making a fortune in the process. There is absolutely no downside to the Central American banana republics that are paid off by cartels, and a whole lot of upside for those who are involved. And as you pointed out, Owen, this is absolutely by design. They know what they're doing to the United States. They don't care. They think that this is great because they're going to get rich in the process. Don't go away. We'll be right back with Owen Schroyer. You are watching The War Room at band.video. Spread these links, band.video, Infowars.com, and shop at InfoWarsStore.com and fight for the Infowar.
There's a famous novel with the title A Tale of Two Cities. And it starts out explaining it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. And that's how the real universe works. Here in mid-April 2021, there is a giant awakening of the New World Order happening. Man, this is exciting. But it's happening because there's a giant globalist assault taking place. And so I've always said my goal is to become redundant or obsolete, in that people understand the New World Order so well and globalism so well, and my research and others' research, that I'm no longer needed, I'm obsolete. And we're in that no man's land right now. Because I can tell you, people are waking up, but if it wasn't for InfoWars and your support of it and your word of mouth, we'd be in deep trouble. So many times it's our broadcasts, it's our reports, it's our articles that become the talking point that gets into the hands of good governors and good presidents and good leaders like DeSantis and Bolsonaro and so many others. And so it really is a responsibility for us to stay on air. And we won't be able to do that without your word of mouth, your prayer, and your financial support. And look, you can make a straight up donation. You can sponsor us, $5, $10, one-time gift, $100. You can sign up at InfoWarsStore.com in the support area. And that way we get about 95% of the money you donate comes into us after the fees. But I want you to get products that make your life better so you see really how amazing they are, and so you reorder them and we have that symbiotic relationship. Well, Vitamin Mineral Fusion is a liquid vitamin mineral amino acid formula that's great for adults, children, old, young, black, white, you name it. Winter Sun's back in stock. It's essential for your immune system. It's all there. 40% off individually, 50% off together in combos at InfoWarsStore.com. So please fund the InfoWar and get products that make your life better today at InfoWarsStore.com, and keep us on the air while making your body and your life a lot healthier and better.